everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Idara. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Happy Thursday. Really excited to get going today and get creating. I have a couple things that I want to do today. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but we're tackling some design trends according to an article that I saw on Adobe Express. I saw the article and I was like, hey, we need to bring this into the show, check it out, and then also create something along the way. What's up, Lucas? Good to see you, man. It's great to be here. I'm going to give some time for people to come in and say hi. What's up, Creative Snack? Creative Snack. That's a cool name. I don't think I've seen you in the chat. What's up? Welcome. Really excited to be, creating something cool today. Like I said, I saw this article called Design Trends of 2026 that Adobe Express put out to promote some of their templates and the things they have going on. And I thought it would be cool to put this article, kind of like the different examples of trendy things that are going on now, put them into our wheel and start making a design. And then from that design, then we'll spin the wheel and have to edit according to the design trends for 2026. So that's what I have planned for today. And also we can learn a little bit about the design trends for 2026 while we do this. And we can also see how much of a trend they actually are or not, because our opinion is also valid. We create all the time. So we can be like, nah, I don't think that was a good one. Or yeah, I like that one, whatever, we like to do. But I feel like it's important. Lucas says he wasn't able to create an artwork this week. I was very busy, and I get it, man. This week for me was crazy as well. I went to San Francisco. I had a great time in San Francisco. I had to record a video that I cannot disclose what it is yet, but it'll come out later on. I'll be able to share it with you guys. It was a really cool experience, a huge production. I got to meet some really cool creative people and some really nice people. So that's always fun. It's always great to create. So it was good to getting out of town was great. Like I felt like that was like a thing that I needed to kind of like get a little bit distracted, get out there. One thing that I love about, I went to San Francisco, and going to San Francisco, one thing that I love always is the airport. Strangely enough, I feel like the San Francisco airport has really good art. Like I always go by the hallways and just look at the art they have. In fact, I photographed all of it. I was going to post it yesterday, but then I forgot. But I always think it's such a good, city and so full of art. And I feel like it's good. Hey, what's up, man? Good to have you here. Good to have you on the chat. What's up, Dinah? Good to see you. Yeah, so I had a really good trip. It was a lot of fun. And I came back yesterday. I knew I had to do the live today. So I was getting ready. And I had this set up from last week with this design trends that I feel like could be cool to spin into a poster. But talking about spinning, we're going to do a couple things. One of the things that I want to explore today for sure is to go into Adobe Photoshop beta and try the new spinning tool thing that you can rotate photos. I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but it's pretty incredible. And I want to try it on today while we do the challenge, while we do everything else. First time here, welcome. It's good to see you. I saw your Instagram, really excited about what's coming for your trip. Thank you, man. It was a really cool trip. What's up, Arif? Good to have you, my friend. I'm going to go to Discord real quick, check out Discord, and let's go from Discord, and then I'll come back to my update on my artwork that I've been working on so you guys can see. We started doing this artwork here on the live, so I want to see, I want to show you guys where I am on it and what I have going on. And let's take a look at some of the work. I think Arif was the only person that posted this week. Let me go up and make sure. Yeah, this was last week. We worked on this little a branding attempt, a challenge that we did last week. And then we jumped into this week. And I saw Arif has a new artwork that he posted. You did it on Photoshop on the web yesterday, experimenting with a few old challenges from options that we have from the show. This really cool art. I see that you're blending some images together and trying out this glitch effect. I don't know exactly how you're accomplishing this, but I feel like it's good that you're getting out of your comfort zone. Like we always say every week, I feel like you keep growing and growing and making it better and better. And we're proud of you for that. I also love that Marsha gave you a little recommendation on how to put the text down here instead of doing it this way. I feel like also this is huge. Posting things in here always brings a community out to share and to do things. But I feel like, you're doing a great job on this, RF. One thing that I would say about this, if I could give you any critiques, is to make sure that you are keeping the face area as clean as possible, unless you want to purposely hide some of the features of the face and show the eyes, for example, and cleaning that up a little bit. I feel like you're merging a little bit of maybe this hand, or maybe the AI thing is doing it where it's like messing it up. But cleaning up some of the areas, I think, is really important as well. But it's really, really cool. And I see that, Marsha gave you some tips on that. That's amazing. I'm updating Photoshop beta right now, says Dino. And then I saw RF posted another one of this one doing kind of the same thing using the AI assistant. Okay, that's a new tool too that I will be exploring next week. I want to explore next week a little bit of the AI assistant stuff, and I want to explore as well some of the new tools have been coming out. Today I'm going to try the rotation one because I feel like it's just like incredible, and I just have to get into it. But this is cool, Arif. I feel like it's really cool that you are again like using some of the available tools to create something cool, having a cool photo in there. Great job on some of these. It's pretty cool. Cool. And then today we're jumping on. Let's jump back into. I want to show you guys an update on this artwork. We started working here on the show, and I feel like I had a little bit more time on this trip, and I was a little bit more inspired to keep working on it. And I added a bunch of stuff. One thing that I love adding to my artwork is like Russian cartoons and things like that, because I feel like it's pretty reminiscent of my childhood, and these are cartoons that I used to watch. But I keep adding more textures so you guys can see more things into it. It's not totally done yet. I want to add a few more things. In a way, this artwork turned into my vision of what's going on right now in my life, in a way. So between the cartoons, I added here like some pixelated like explosion or something, and it's just everything that's going on mixed with creativity and stuff like that. I feel like I wanted to explore that a little bit more. But without further ado, let's jump into the rotate tool. I don't know if you guys have gotten to use it yet. I literally just updated beta a few minutes ago, and then I dropped this image in here, and I want to go ahead and do that. I think it's this one right here, right? Transform, and then rotate object. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's pretty small. Rotate object is going to prepare the object to be rotated. And let's explore a little bit about this. Again, I have something for the show that I want to do. It's 3:10 already, but I want to try this first, and then we'll jump into a little bit of the challenge, or maybe we can skip the challenge for next week. We'll see. Okay, so it lets you rotate the object, and while you're rotating the object, it looks pretty messy. Like it doesn't have any, like the render quality is really bad, but it's because you are rotating it. So let's leave it. I really like this angle. Let's keep this angle real quick, and it's kind of weird angle. Actually, let's keep an angle where you can see the face, just to see how good it is at kind of restoring from a different position. Maybe something like that would be cool. And then you can also mess with the perspective, which is cool. I feel like that's a really cool thing to do, especially if you're working with photography around the subject. You want to definitely have that. Marcia says he saw the artwork Paul did on Instagram where he moved the skull around. That was really cool. And yeah, it helps you kind of match the photos that you have to something with another photo, right? So it really helps with compositing. To me, I'm like, I can't wait to like try more for exploration, to explore things that might be a little bit more messy, or you guys know how I like to do the things. So I guess after you click OK, it goes into this render section here, which uses AI to render the photo to essentially follow a new version of it. And the quality after is pretty good. There's some kind of like artifacting happening in the face here. It's kind of weird, and in the clothes. But to be fair, the photo had a lot of that already to start with. What I don't know is how you turn it back to what it was before. Let's see if you click on... you can reset bar position. No, that's the bar. You can... Let me see. Edit rotation. I probably should have done this before the show just to know. But I feel like, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to copy, and then go back into the first position and then paste. Okay. So there has to be a better way to do that. I just don't know it yet. But let's do another rotation. So I'm going to copy the subject and I'm going to duplicate it. And let's go ahead and do another one of these rotations. This is the tool right here with the rectangle, and then let's click on rotate and do it again. Face seems weird, says RF. It does use credit, because at the beginning when I started doing it, it asked me if it was okay to that it was going to use credits. I don't know how many credits it uses, and maybe I can do a little bit more research, and next week I can let you guys know. Although probably at that point it's probably gonna be, you guys are probably gonna know what it is already. But I'm imagining that I would use the same amount that I would use for any generation, right? So yeah, that's what my guess would be. I can probably research it a little bit more. I don't know if Idara knows about it or anybody on the Adobe team knows about it that might be here. It would be good to know. If not, I'll just research it a little bit more and do something. Yeah, but it does look like, especially with this photo, I feel like this photo is pretty wacky already. But it is creating some kind of weirdness in the face. I actually like it for this photo. I feel like this photo is very unique. And it's kind of messy, but I like how it's doing that to this photo. And this is the vision that I had for this. If I could do this tool, like I want to create the same subject looking everywhere in a way. So let's keep working on this poster, but then jump into the challenge that I had for today. What's up, Jenny? Good to see you. Good to have you. Happy Thursday. All right, so the challenge today is Design Trends for 2026. This is an article Adobe Express put out, and they have 10 trends for 2026 on design, alongside some of the templates that you guys can actually click on and use. They kind of utilize these styles, right? There's a ton of lists like this online. I found this one with Adobe Express since we're doing an Adobe show. I thought it was great to bring it in. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to spin the wheel. Whatever wheel we land on, like we always do, we're going to learn a little bit about that one style, and then we're going to try to apply it to what I'm creating. I already started creating something. So let's do it on top of this design that I'm creating. Maybe we'll get to use the rotate thing a little bit more, and then we'll give 5 minutes between each rotation, which I forgot to set up here on my timer, but I'm going to set up really quickly, and it should be pretty simple. So let's go ahead and rotate, and I'm gonna set up my timer in 1 second. Let me stop her because I want to read what it is. So it's going to be number 3. You know how much I love the wheel. I just, it just keeps things interesting. Number 3, okay. And it's unpredictable too. So number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 3. Immersive high energy style. Well, it goes really well what I do already. Visual style in 2026 will be made up bright, saturated color palettes, realistic textures mixed with surreal elements, create an immersive experience that will be high. I can't read that, it's too small. Sorry. I'll be highly representative this year. Like last year, we're going to see a pendulum of nostalgic and futuristic aesthetics. Okay, so this is pretty much something that I do already in my work, and I feel like it goes really well with what we're doing. So let's keep doing that. I feel like it's saying, to add color palette that is bright, realistic textures mixed with surreal elements, create an immersive experience. Okay, so we got that on the back, guys. We're pretty much doing that already. I'm gonna set up my timer and keep working on this for another 5 minutes, and then we'll rotate again and see what we land on. Hopefully something more interesting than that, because we're already kind of creating that. So what I want to do, which is already kind of surreal, is that I want to keep rotating this subject in all different directions, almost like we'll have this kind of ball of like the same subject, and then we can add some colors and things to it and make something interesting with it. Why not? I love Lucas says, I love what you did with the dripping of your poster on the keyboard. So I posted a photo yesterday on my Instagram when I finally got to start working on that artwork that I showed you guys a second ago. And then I wanted to do something. I was in my hotel room working on it, and I was like, I want to do something a little bit more interesting with it, to where it kind of looks like the posters coming out of the computer a little bit more. So what I did, I'm gonna click done over here. It's gonna render this. It looks so bad from here, but when it renders, it should be good. And then I did this thing where I added. Let me see if I can find it real quick here on my computer. But I added these. Oh, there it is. This kind of melting effect to the, like it's melting from my computer to my keyboard. I thought it was, a cool way to show something more interesting. Okay, it rendered pretty cool here. So that's what Lucas is talking about. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate it. Yeah, so surreal elements, colorful elements, and I feel like we're already kind of there. It's getting there. I kind of love this idea of like the same subject being repeated. How do you guys feel about this? I'm trying to see if it says anywhere how many credits it would use as I'm making this. I feel like in the new, does anybody know where? I know when Photoshop updates new things, they normally have it somewhere here inside of the software where it kind of tells you what they updated. And I know it happens normally at the beginning, like they show it to you at the very beginning of the when you open the software. But I honestly pressed skipped on that. And they did ask me, and they did tell me that it was going to charge you generative credits. But I don't know if anybody knows where I can find it right now. It says 1. Okay. So I guess it costs you 1 credit, which is like the same as generating 1 image. Which I feel like is really good. To be honest, I feel like the credits in Adobe, at least from my experience, how do you guys feel about this? I feel like they last a while. Like I've tried other softwares. I don't know how to rotate this way. Like this, like, oh, I guess, okay. I feel like other softwares, like it lasts less. But with this, it lasts good. And I like how you can also get like a Google's AI thing in it as well. And a little bit of the ChatGPT one. So I feel like that's really good. Okay, maybe we'll rotate it more like this and move it behind here. Look at that. We can really make a true reflection now. Has anybody tried to ever make a reflection like this where a subject's standing and you want to make a reflection, but obviously if you duplicate the subject, it doesn't look good. But now you can actually do that and see it from above. Oops. You could see it from above. That wasn't a really good generation, was it? I'm wondering if you can do edit rotation. Yeah. Have it rendered again, because that wasn't really good. Let's try to click done and render again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's not perfect, but to be honest with you guys, I'm pretty impressed because back in November, I went to, let me go to my Instagram real quick. I went to Adobe Max and they presented this. Let me go to my Instagram real quick and then go to my videos. They showed this video over here and I recorded it and posted it on my Instagram when it was happening, and they were showing this as something that might happen in the future. And I'm pretty impressed that a few months later it's already there. And that is, that's pretty incredible to me. All right, this rotation didn't really work. It doesn't really matter. Let me add some colors if we have 30 seconds. And the thing said to add realistic textures and colors. So what I'm going to do dissolve, and I'm going to add some colors over here. Let me go ahead and go with my standard color palette that I normally use. Maybe something like this. Should have done a little bit more of this. Is going to be, it did. I'm going to take 5 more seconds to sort of work through this. I'm interested to see if you guys have, if any of you guys used it or is going to use it this week. Please post about it. I'd love to see what you guys make with it. Obviously, the best use for it is when you actually need it. When you're like, oh, I need to add this car to this street and I don't have an angle of it, and you actually do it in a way that makes sense. I feel like obviously that's the best use for it, but at the same time, I feel like for stuff like this, like what I'm making right now, it can be really powerful to be able to kind of have the freedom to do whatever you want with it. I wonder if I should change the secondary color here, instead of always being red, to have another one like this blue. I feel like it could be cool. Also, I'm doing it all with noise, but whatever. That thing said to add colorful stuff and to add realistic textures, so I guess that's what we're doing. Realistic textures. This guy down here doesn't look like that guy at all. Maybe we should do something about that. But I want to at least add another color. After show when I update in Photoshop. Yeah, so it's in Photoshop beta. It's not on Photoshop, the main Photoshop. It's on the beta one. And if you have the Adobe suite, you can just click on it and then go to apps and then go to beta, all apps or beta over here on the right, and then you can install the Photoshop beta. All right, and then all the other betas as well, obviously. Okay, sweet. I'm liking this. It's looking kind of wacky, but it's okay. All right, let's go back to the wheel. Let's go ahead and remove number 3 and then the spin again. And then let's see what we get. I'm gonna reset the timer. It's 3:23. I always have to keep track of the clock and what's going on. Number 2, let's see what number 2 is. And let's remove it as well. So we're learning about trends, and at the same time we're creating something. Number 2 is right above that. Exaggerated, playful letters and text. Instead of a uniform font of a computer typography, is leaning towards excess and the absurd. Think oversized sans serif, bubbly and puffy letter forms, and wavy, distorted, bubble-like fonts. All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like it's pretty cool. I feel like we've done some stuff like that on the show. I do want to do another one of these guys down here. Maybe if I just copy paste that guy, I don't have to do him. I guess I'm the best for 2. Yes, you are. Your artwork is so cool on Instagram, and all the different lettering that you do is so cool. So I'll attempt something, and you can scream at me from the chat if you guys have recommendations and stuff like that. I feel like I have a font that I downloaded the other day that should be pretty fun for this. And we can do a cool text underneath this that would look cool. But yeah, that is definitely one of the styles that I feel like is really trendy right now. It's the whole kind of like big text. This one is not wanting to render the right way. Maybe I'm rotating it too much. That's one of the things about tools like this, right? That you start learning with time. It's like how much you can push it, how much it reacts to it. I did see another tool that just came out with Adobe, in Adobe beta, and my show next week is supposed to be about new tools, right? So I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with this, but at the same time, I feel like I'm excited about some of the new things that are happening. So let's add something here. Let's add a word here. Maybe perspective. Hopefully I spelled that right. Maybe not. We'll see. I have it now going down on this inside of this font. I have it masked to it. Perspective. Is that spelled right? Hopefully it is. All right. And I'm going to make it really big and put it back here. I'm going to send it all the way to the back. I'm using Shift Alt and the right bracket to send it to the back. And then the font that I want to use, I feel like I had it here. I won't remember, for sure won't remember what it's called right now, but any big bulky font would do. I feel like it would be really cool here. We'll see, maybe this asphalt one would be cool. I feel like this one is way too playful. Like it almost looks like a kid's thing. It really does, huh? I don't like that. Exaggerated text. What was the prompt? Exaggerated, playful letters. All right, so they have to be kind of playful in a way. So we'll keep maybe we'll keep these ones. We'll see. Also, check this out. We can do on the beta right now. Oops. Enter. How do I get out of this? It won't let me click OK. Okay, in the beta right now, when you have text, if you click on this little thunder looking thing down here, dynamic text, before you could make a text fit into a space really neatly with each other, but now you can do arches with them, which is not going to show here because it's too big. I don't know why it's making it so big. Maybe because my text is that big. But you can do that now where it's like, boom, like just like that. You have this arch, or you can do a circle. I feel like those tools like that are really neat. They just save so much time. It's just the best to have tools that are like that simple. So I'm actually going to keep this text. I don't hate this that much. When I say stuff like that, sometimes people are like, if you don't hate it that much, it means you don't actually love it. So, but at the same time, I feel like it looks good. It just needs to grow me a little bit more. And the time is about to go off. There you go. But yeah, I like this. I feel like this is cool. I'm sticking to that background color. Maybe I should do something else. Timing wore enough. Let me make another color here. Maybe something like this. Perspective. I don't know if I should make this one. Do this. Maybe I should. Perspective. And then we can add a little bit in Adobe Live little thing here. Satori. It's another font that I like. I'm going to throw it like that. Make it smaller. I know timer went off. I'm supposed to be looking at the next trend. But hopefully the next trend doesn't break what we have going on, right? It's like that would be so bad. Little less space over here. Let's do Adobe Live 2026. Oops. Why is the text messing up right now? 2026. And then let's do a little bit more space, a little bit smaller. I don't know if this is exactly what I want, but I see you guys keep writing things. Cool. I wish they would add that to Illustrator instead of type on path. I think they will add it to Illustrator. For sure, the dynamic text is already inside of Illustrator. I've seen it in Illustrator. The one that you can add a few text lines and it just compresses it into, or like makes it organized. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's already in Illustrator for sure. Oh, maybe the perspective thing could be this color and then this one could be the red. So that way it's like, you know, you have these two perspectives happening at the same time. How do you guys feel about this poster, man? I feel like it's looking good. But right now we're going to spin the wheel and we'll see what happens with the wheel. The wheel always throws things off, and I hope it doesn't this time because I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Number one. What is number one? Let's read. We got 3, 2, and 1. What is this? Okay, remove. Let's see what it threw on number 1. Number 1, harness the power of tactile and sensory experiences will be a strong driver of engagement in 2026. Given that we're often on our phones, gaming consoles, and other gadgets that keep us digital in the digital world, material that mimic touch, sound, and motion are becoming more prevalent in design. Puffy, soft, squishy textures that are almost okay. So it's asking me to add more things that feel like in the senses that you can touch, that you can feel. And these are the visual examples that it's given, right? Like photo and then textures. So I feel like we can add a texture. There's all this trend in for 2026 is all about kind of like that, you know, realistic element in design that feels like things are happening. So I feel like I know what I want to do here. I feel like that would, for me, is going to be adding like a texture of a rock or something. I don't know if I missed a couple of chats. I saw you guys were sending stuff. Let's see. I think what I want to do is that I want to do like a rock texture in the back of this. That you can really see the rock texture happening on inside of the gray. Maybe like going horizontally. So since I have something so unique in my brain, I don't know if the best thing would be to go to Adobe Stock and look for something. Let's see, rock, texture. Oof, did I forget? I forgot the clock. And then also, how far are we? 30:33. Guys, we're doing great. How are we doing this? How are we going so like we have something that feels kind of finished, and we still have like half the show left, which is not normal for anybody that's their first time watching. We're finishing the show and things are not finished yet. I over-explain a lot when I do things, and I feel like this time things are actually working pretty well. At least we're making progress on the poster. All right, I like this texture. I did not explain why I picked it or anything like that. I'm just throwing it in. Let me see. My computer's thinking. Perfect. Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this and throw it to the bottom. And yeah, I feel like that texture accomplishes a little bit of what, such an interesting poster, right? Like one of the trends is like playful text. The next trend is like serious, like we're on the computers all day. We need to be more mindful of like the real world, and this is one of the trends. So I'm adding texture now. So it's like things contradict each other on this challenge, and that's what makes it fun. But the cool thing about it is that you can, I feel like these challenges are proof that you can always make things interesting, even if your client is asking you to do crazy things. You can always make it good. You can always make it do an effort. I know it's hard sometimes. Also the mental element of like sometimes dealing with clients that are asking for things that don't make any sense for the project. But you can always try it. Sometimes happy accidents, turning bad things into good things is one of my favorite things to do, or at least to try to do. Okay, I'm making this a little bit bolder. I always try to ask you guys this, but I forget every week. When I'm designing like this and you guys are watching the show, do you guys watch on your phones? Or because I feel like everything's so small on the screen, maybe for you guys, that I'm trying to see if I should just make things a little bit bigger next, like my interface in general. Or if you guys don't really care about that and it's kind of what I'm doing, it would be good to know. Okay, I think I'm going to change the background color finally to something a little bit darker. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I feel like that's bringing more of a vibe to the photo. I don't know if I love this blue though. I'm going to mute it a little bit more. You guys are watching a monitor. Great. Sometimes on my phone, sometimes at work. Yeah. So the interface is going to be really hard for you guys to see anyways, but feel free to ask me any questions as we go. I always say the same thing, but if I'm doing something that you guys don't understand or you don't know how I got there, feel free to let me know in here in the show or inside of our Discord as we are done with the show. All right, so I'm making a few color adjustments here. I feel like the text tool is acting up today. Like when I click on it, normally it just clicks pretty quickly, and now it's not doing that. Okay, but I'm liking this. I feel like everybody's coming from this central subject, which I'm going to try to render again because it's looking kind of weird. Boom. I'm gonna send it. See what happens. Arif says that he rewatches a couple times. That's funny. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, I'll be happy to answer some of the things online. But yeah, this is looking pretty cool. Like, using the new tool and then at the same time doing those trends. We have 30 seconds on the clock, so I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna go to the wheel again. And let's spin it again. Let's see which trend we get right now. I'm resetting the clock because I forgot to set it up, so we kind of lost 30 minutes. Number 6. Okay, we're gonna remove it and then go to number 6, see what it is. What's up, Ted? How you doing, my friend? I'm sad that I didn't get to see you. I just went to San Francisco. I was saying that at the beginning of the show, and then I wanted to see Ted, but I was so busy with other things, and then we couldn't get to see each other. But I love you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Freeform and storytelling layouts. We are predicting unpredictability in layouts with loose editorial styles composition, taking on a synth style layout. Consider employing playful control chaos in your branding and socials with overlapping elements and asymmetric for dynamic and rhythm. So pretty much like, trendy, messy looking forms that, center more on telling a story or like building on. This is going to be hard to do with this design that we have going on because really, I feel like we have a little bit of that going on with these things, but it needs to be a little bit more messy, right? So maybe what we can do is that we can do some elements on top of each figure here to create a little bit more of that in it and do a little bit more of this kind of unpredictable layout, which I feel like we already kind of have going on. Let's see how we can do that, right? So, because the easiest thing would be to like do some text around. This is already happening with our layout a little bit. That's why sometimes it's hard because it's like, okay, we already got a little bit of that going on. What it's asking me to do, but we could always focus more on making the layout a little bit more expressive. Doing some things around here, maybe like this. Let's try something out just to see what we have going on. Oh, I had this on. I see, instead of path, I want it to be a shape. That's one of the things that I feel like we should change in Adobe, like in Photoshop. I mean, like if you by accident don't pick that you want to do a shape, and then you have it as a path, and you forget to fill it in. I never know how to get that fixed. That might be a me thing. It might be, a thing only for me. Okay, so I'm going to color pick some of these things. I feel like doing a layout like this would be cool. Could be cool. It's not exactly what the prompt asks us to do, right? It asks us to do something a little bit more messy. At the same time, I don't want to mess this up completely, and I feel like it's messy enough already with what's going on. So I'm going to focus on creating a tiny bit of a layout around this that could be cool. So I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to create a little frame around it. Pretty simple using the pen tool. It's not a big deal. And then maybe inside of this, we can unite them a little bit. Boom. And then duplicate them, put them on the bottom. Yeah, for those that are, coming on right now, we are creating a poster using a little bit of the new tool in Photoshop beta that you can use to rotate images. And at the same time, we're doing a little challenge where we're looking at 2026 design trends and trying to incorporate them into our design as we go. So that's why you're seeing here. And that's what, it's a little bit of a messy thing that's happening. I'm going to unite this this into one group, and then I'm going to be drawing inside of it. So I want to create some of these darker shadows again inside of those, kind of like that, and kind of like this. Yeah, maybe I think I should do some of the red on this side. Yeah, so maybe that whole side, this whole side should be red. Okay, and the clock is about to go off again, and we have to go look at one other trend as we go, and see what else we can add to this. I feel like we've been adding already a lot to it, and it's getting kind of crazy. What's up, Space? Good to have you. Ted said is okay. I'll see you here. Thank you, Ted. Cool. Yeah, I feel like this is looking good. I'm gonna add a little detail here where I'm going to. First of all, let me lock this because it's going to make me click on it the whole time. And I don't want to do that. Where are you at? And I'm gonna send it all the way to the back. My clock went off. Again, for those that are showing off and are wondering why we have a timer, I'm doing a little challenge where when the timer goes off, I have to go and spin a little wheel, and we're trying to incorporate some of the design trends of 2026 into this design. This is how we've got into what we've got into right now. So let me go back to here. This is our wheel. We're going to spin it, and then whatever we get, we come in here and we read what the trend is, and we try to make it into our poster. It's either 4 or 10. It's going to be 4. What is 4? We got 3, we got 2, we got 1. A little bit of Miami vibes, says Marsha. I think it's the clothing. I think it's a little bit of that that's happening. So what was it again? 4? Let's go into 4. Okay, surreal and absurdist. I didn't even know that was a word. I know that absurd, I feel like it's a word that I've used before, but absurdist, it's pretty crazy. Being playful, including visual jokes, Easter eggs, and exaggerated scales in a surreal way might be a trademark of design created lately. Collage style composition with just position, dreamlike digital collages allowed brands to do. I feel like that's what we have going on. I mean, this is a lot more of a, I feel like a layout design with different images incorporated into it. But I feel like this design trend, and I feel like this is pretty popular. Everybody uses this design trend right now, especially on social media, or it's become really, really popular to use like anti-design aesthetic. If we go to Pinterest and we look for anti-design, this aesthetic has become really cool. I would say the last 5 to 3 years has grown more and more people like it. So I feel like this is what they're referring to here. It's a little bit of it's coming from that. Obviously, these are templates inside of Adobe Express that you guys can log in right now and use. But at the same time, I feel like this would be a bigger picture to look at when thinking about some of those things, right? So I would say textures, random elements, maybe like emojis, things like that could be going into it. A lot of textures, things like this, like, using strokes and textures inside of things. So yeah, it's something that we could definitely feel like we could do a little bit of for this design. I love this aesthetic right here. But yeah, this whole chaotic kind of like aesthetic is something that it could be really cool. I'm trying to think if we should get into that right now and mess up our design with this. I feel like it could be cool. We'll see. We'll give it a go. Did I set up the timer? I did not set up the timer. I don't think we'll have a lot of time after this one. We'll see. Maybe we'll have time for another one. I really like those little cloud looking things that were on that design that we just saw a second ago. So I'm going to, clouds is something that I do a lot of my work, in my work. So I feel like something like this with some quote unquote clouds here could be cool. I'm using the shape tool here and I'm just drawing circles. I'm pressing shift as I do it. So they all get as what, like they all become one shape. I guess I didn't do it the whole time because I have a couple shapes here, but I'm going to unite them all into one shape. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is what I've made so far. And I'm going to center that on our composition. Maybe I'll do something else up here, like I'll add another one. Up here, sweet. Yeah, so I feel like that little cloud looking thing could be a cool element to then add some texture inside of it. You see this little, okay, perfect. Yeah, and maybe we can do, what we could do to this is that we can add a stroke just to accentuate a little bit more of that style. So like the thing that with that style is like it needs to be coming across the whole composition. It cannot be like a one-off thing, right? Like we always talk about, it's like when you do something in any software, any artwork, you don't want to create an isolated thing that has a certain look and everything else on that artwork doesn't have that look. You have to kind of be uniform about what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to add some black to that cloud, and then I'm going to add some of the blue on the bottom of it as well, just bringing back some of that, and then I'm going to do the same down here. Maybe this is going to be too much, and we're not going to like this when we're done, but you know, it's part of the challenge, right? So I'm going to copy layer style, and then I'm going to paste it on the other one. What I'm doing here is that I'm essentially copy pasting the style that I created with the stroke into the other one. And I might do the same thing for this over here for the frame. But on that one, I'm going to do another stroke, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, let's do it like that. It's fine. Cool. I don't know if we should do strokes in our subjects. I feel like that would add even more of that look and that style. Auto select. That's what's been happening the whole show. I've been clicking like on subjects to select them, and I haven't been able to. Okay. Yeah, so you see, like we can really make that kind of like anti-design aesthetic just by adding literally strokes into things. Copy layer style and then paste it. One thing here that's really conflicting with each other is that this specific aesthetic that we're doing right now doesn't really go well with this background, right? You guys see that? Like even when I remove that a second, like it already looks so much different, and it's already looking like more like this style. And that's something that, you know, when you're creating, you have to think about. It's like, what is the thing that makes something, right? What is the thing that makes a style, and how do I utilize it for my advantage? Maybe maybe all these are very, very thick. Copy layer style. Maybe I have to make them a little bit thinner. Paste. And let me paste it here too. Yeah. I knew like having to change the same design into multiple styles was going to be a problem, but I do like how, you know, how that's looking, how it's feeling, and, you know, again, having to change a style towards the end of something is really tough. Perspective detective. Yeah, I want to do that. I feel like it's going to I don't know if it'll match the same amount of letters. Does it? Let me see. Let me add it in there. Yeah, it does. And also because we're using that dynamic text, it lands it in the same space of the curve, which is really cool. Okay. So yeah, you see, we could do a little bit more on that. Also pixels and things like that would be really cool for this style. But overall, it's a more simplistic type of style, right? It doesn't have a lot of gradients. It's pretty straightforward, and I feel like we have some other things here that kind of contradict that style, but you can see that with a couple clicks we already have something a little bit different than what we had before, and we were able to do a style like that, like kind of match that style pretty quickly. We can also make it a little bit more messy. That will also help a lot. Like if we to follow that the same style that we're talking about, if we I like make more scribbles and what's like up here. I feel like that could help that style as well. So we have to get a little bit more, not creative, but I guess messy with it. Even though, we're trying to do that style, you can tell that you're like adding it on top of another layer that was there before, and it doesn't really have that pure effect of that messy style. But I feel like for the challenge, we accomplished what was requested of us specifically for that. Let's see if we'll have time for another one. At least we can read it and kind of learn from it. Let's spin it again and see what we land on. And this will be the last one. We are about 7 minutes away from the end of the show. And it could be cool. Let's see what number 5 is. Remove. I feel like we did number 5 already, didn't we? Number 5, organic and imperfect design. Oh, okay. Good. That's what we were just doing a second ago. Organic and analog are show hand renders, textures, sand, stone, so it's pretty much straightforward. It's like adding some handwritten things and some textures, some effects like that. Yeah, pretty much what we were doing already, but adding a little bit more of it, right? Maybe we can do that. You can see a lot of that even here on this pants, and with this effect that we did before, is already looking a little bit like that. One thing that I don't really like about this is the text, though. Like I feel like we should probably have another text that's a little bit better for this design, like another font. I don't know if you guys know any other font that would be amazing for this that I can just throw in here. Maybe I should have had that ready before I started the show. But I didn't know which ones I was going to get. So, Marsha, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for being here today. I don't know if you have to bounce, but so it was good to see you. So it was good to have you. Okay, so more handwritten, scribbles and things like that. There's a lot of brushes that you guys can use. I lately I've been using these brushes. I downloaded them. I feel like we did that together where I was, talking about how I didn't have any brushes, and then I went on and downloaded a bunch of brushes. What am I doing here? Where are my brushes at? Okay, here they are. I'm on beta. That's probably why I don't have them here. Okay, but I downloaded a bunch of brushes that I could use inside of my regular Photoshop. I don't have them here in the beta, so I cannot use them. But instead of doing brushes, then I'll play with this texture back here. I'm going to duplicate it a few times and create like a checker pattern with it. Maybe that's going to be good. Man, there's a complete freedom. We've talked about this a little bit in other episodes, but there's a freedom where you can just make whatever. Like you don't have to actually, the result doesn't really matter in a way. There's no body waiting for me to finish this or asking me to do it any certain way. So I feel like I feel like I like this design better a few minutes ago when we had a little bit more of a cleaner look. And then there's like a freedom to be able to explore and not care if you mess it up that I really like. And yeah, sometimes we don't do that enough, right? So I like that. What I did here is that I duplicated that gradient, and I ended up creating this checkers pattern that is too accentuated, but if I make it more of a texture in the back, it could be cool. So I'm gonna color match the background and then move it up a little bit, or to the right or to the left, and it'll give me a little bit of a different style here. I messed it up. I copied it. One of the times that I copied it, it wasn't close enough. But I feel like I can just copy paste it or delete it from there and move it. Can I do that? Yep, I can. Definitely not the right way to do that, but deselect. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. In fact, there's a few things here that like I said, I would go back to one of my earlier renders of this poster, but I feel like it's a vibe. It's a bit of a vibe. We try on the new tool, rotate tool. We tried on some of these 2026 trends into one poster. We did it all within 1 hour, and we had a lot of fun in the process. We learned a little bit, so we all win from it. I'm really thankful again for you guys for being here today. We're going to be bouncing off in a couple of minutes. I see a few people already saying bye and great stream. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here. Idara, thank you for sharing today. Thank you for moderating the whole thing. Go to our Discord, guys. Check it out. Discord is always great to get feedback from other people, to share what you're doing. Oh, Daria shared something here. Look at that. Before we go, I want to take a look at this real quick and make sure that we see some of the submissions. I like this. I like what you're doing with the face here. I wish I have a couple more minutes to give you more like a critique if I can, but I can do it in the next episode. I can go a little bit more into it. But good job on this. Thank you for sharing. I'm assuming this is you. It looks like it's the same person. Good job on doing this. And then I've seen this around, bro. This is awesome. Thank you for sharing it, and amazing work as well. I know part of this work, your letters are these are your letters, but this is from his name just escaped my mind. But a great artist did the splash screen last year. Guillermo, I'm tripping right now. But thank you for sharing. Thank you, Daria, for being on the Discord. Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. I'll share this work that we did today on our Discord so you guys can have it and see it. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, and have a good Thursday. We'll see you guys around.